Hello everyone, and welcome to my video series exploring the scenic byways of Kansas. While watching this, please keep in mind that this is the first video I have ever edited, so I apologize ahead of time if it looks and or sounds a little amateurish. So Kansas has a total of 12 byways. 9 of them are scenic and 3 of them are historic. Of the 9 scenic byways, 2 of them are designated as national scenic byways, the Flint Hills route and the Wetlands and Wildlife route. Okay, the first one I decided to tackle for this series was the Post Rock Scenic Byway. It is the shortest of the scenic routes, being only 18 miles long. Officially starting in the city of Lucas, it winds its way south through fields, prairies, and pastures to the lovely city of Wilson. Now I could sit here and go over every little detail of the official byway itinerary found in the Kansas Tourism magazine, but in the wise words of Miss Sweet Brown,
ain't nobody got time for that.
Instead, I'll show you some of the highlights from my solo journey along the route on Saturday, April 15th, 2023. And just a disclaimer, obviously the experience I had on this trip won't be the same for everyone else, such as stores being closed or areas being closed off, etc. Moving on. So around noon on that Saturday, I set out west on I-70 towards Lucas, Kansas. It was a beautiful drive, and about 3/4 of the way there, I decided to take a detour north along K-14. My first stop on the trip was a parking lot overlooking the Saline River waterfall. There was no one else around, so I got out and explored the waterfall area a little. When I got back to the car, I enjoyed a nice salad. And let me just tell you, freshly grated Parmesan cheese takes it to another level.
That's your sweet spot right there.
Continuing north through the town of Lincoln and then west on K-18, my next stop was Vespers Cemetery, which had a cool overlook spot. After taking some horrible bee footage, I asked everyone buried there to wish me luck and continued on my adventure. Roughly 2 hours after I set out on my trip, I finally arrived in the artsy town of Lucas. My first stop there was the eccentric art installation called the Garden of Eden. The folk art there was created by Civil War veteran S.P. Dinsmore over 115 years ago. Next, I stopped by the Grassroots Art Center off Main Street. And being a fan of all things weird, I must admit this was one of my favorite parts of the trip.
Let's get weird.
They have some really crazy and strange pieces in their gallery, and I highly recommend you take a look at it. Also, I bought this cool postcard in their gift shop. Leaving Lucas, I traveled south along Kansas Highway 232, and my next stop was the Wilson Lake area. Surrounding the lake were some great parks, overlooks, clean beaches, and shooting recreation areas. I highly recommend that you spend a little time exploring the area around the lake. There's a lot of cool spots. Continuing south on Highway 232, as I approached I-70, I noticed a couple abandoned houses along the road. And I couldn't help myself, so I may or may not have gotten out of the car and explored them a little. Whoa. Back on the road south, I headed towards the last town associated with this byway, Wilson, Kansas. What a charming little town. They have some art galleries, a historical hotel that was hosting a wedding the night I was there, a couple pretty churches, a burned down opera house, oh, and of course, I can't forget to mention their giant freaking hand-painted Czech egg. So that was my short day trip along the Post Rock Scenic Byway on Saturday, April 15th, 2023. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if not, feel free to tear me apart in the comments down below. Toodles!